Hello again. Welcome back to the study of the book of Revelation. Hope you are all enjoying to understand the revelations of John. Today we are going to study the chapter 12 of the book of Revelation. In the last lines of chapter 11, we see the seventh angel sounds the seventh trumpet, the trumpet of victory of God our Lord Jesus Christ. And the elders, the angels, the spirits of the saints worship a living God in heaven, saying, O Lord Almighty, which art, which was, and which art to come, thou hast come to reign the world forever, to avenge the blood of the saints who were martyred in the hands of the Christ rejecting people, and to reward thy servants, thy prophets, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and to destroy the devil, the Satan, the accuser, and evil of the world. In the opening of the chapter 12, John sees a woman. She is the woman of Apocalypse. He sees a woman who appears to be pregnant, who cried, travailed in birth, pained to be delivered of a child. And there was a dragon waiting to devour the child she would deliver. A male child is delivered to rule the world with an iron rod. And the child, however, escapes. It subdues the dragon and it escapes the clutches of the dragon and it is taken into the heaven. Let me show you a small venture of my art piece of the woman as described in the book of Revelation chapter 12. You can see the woman. She is dressed in the sun, and she is wearing a crown of 12 stars, and at her feet you can see the moon. And she is having great wings, the wings of the great eagle. And you see the dragon waiting impatiently to devour the child she would deliver. But the child that is delivered escapes into the heaven. It was taken into heaven. Then there is a chase between the dragon and the woman flees into an appointed place, the wilderness, where she was fed for 1,260 days. There is a chase, but the woman flies with the great wings of the eagle into an appointed place where God takes care of hers. The desperate dragon fumes, throws the flood, a great flood, to devour the woman. However, the earth cooperates and it swallows up the ocean, the flood, and the woman is saved. Now the restless, the desperate dragon is subdued. It comes back onto the earth to persecute the seed of this woman, who are the believers of Christ, who are the followers of Christ. In this, John shows the initiation of war between Satan, the old devil, and its notorious negative angels, and Michael, the angel in the heaven, and its troop of angels. This is the war, it's the initiation of war between Satan, the evil, and God, the divine. The woman appears, she cried, travailing in birth, pain to be delivered of a child, and the dragon waiting to devour the child that is going to be delivered, but it is subdued, we see. This is the initiation of war between Michael, the angel of heaven, and Satan, the angel of evil, the dragon. Satan prevailed not, and it is thrown onto the earth. The great dragon, the serpent, the devil, Satan was cast out along with its notorious, wicked, evil angels onto the earth. When the seventh angel blows the trumpet, John hears a great loud voice. Now is salvation come. Now is strength come. Now is the kingdom of God come. Now is the power of Christ come onto the earth. The accuser, there's a war between the accuser and the angels of heaven. His job is untiredly, he was never tired of accusing God of heaven. His job is to abuse and accuse God day and night without rest. However, in the war, in the end of the war, we see the blood of Lamb overpowers the devil. The testimony of Christ subdues and humbles down Satan. The believers, the followers of Christ, they did not love their lives. Even unto death, they stood on their faith. They stood for their testimony. And when the seventh angel blows the seventh trumpet, it is the time to rejoice. The victory of the right on the wrong, the victory of the good on the bad. When we talk about this woman who is seen in chapter 12 of the book of Revelation, as visualized by John, as seen by John, dressed in the sun, moon at its feet, wearing a crown with the 12 stars. These 12 stars represent the 12 tribes of the Old Testament, the 12 tribes of Jacob. And these 12 stars represent the 12 disciples of Jesus Christ when he was alive, when he walked with his disciples. Then what is the reference with the book of Genesis, the first book of the Holy Bible? Joseph saw a dream. In his dream, the sun and the moon worship him. Like they are equated to his mother and father. Father and mother bow down before Joseph, their son, and the 11 brothers bow down before his brother Joseph and worship him. This has a reference with this dream of Joseph of the book of Genesis. Why is this woman described in this special important book of Revelation? This woman, according to the Christian eschatology, The woman of Apocalypse is supposed to be the Virgin Mary who delivered Jesus Christ. Mother of Jesus Christ was supposed compared to be this woman. According to the belief, according to the Roman Catholic faith. However, there is a discussion, different types of interpretations between the premillennialists and the amillennialists. Who are the premillennialists? The premillennialists believe that it is imminent that Jesus Christ should physically come down onto the earth and reign for 1,000 years before the golden period of peace is established upon the earth. And the amillennialists, they do not believe the second coming of Jesus Christ. The physically returning Jesus, they do not believe. Once during the resurrection, when Jesus Christ was lifted up into the heaven, at the time of ascension itself, the golden period of peace should be established upon the earth. That is what the amillennialists believe. What is this word? Millennialists believe. Millennialism is the 1,000 years rule of peace and calm and joy and rejoicing under the rule of Jesus Christ. However, the second coming, our Bible speaks about. Maranatha, Jesus is coming soon. We wait upon Jesus Christ coming back to avenge the blood of the martyrs who were killed in the hands of the accusers, troop, the followers of that Satan. Coming back to the biblical references, if you see in the book of Isaiah, many times woman is referred to. Let me share with you certain references in the Old Testament, the book of Isaiah. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 7 reads like this. Before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pains came, she was delivered of a male child. The woman delivering a child is referred to in the book of Isaiah. Well, she was delivered of a male child is mentioned in Isaiah chapter 54, verse 6 as well. In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, 12th verse reads this way. Your mother shall be sore confounded. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. The dragon chasing the woman is compared to this being abused, the woman being abused by the dragon, chased by the dragon. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness. She fled into wilderness. That is referred to in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, a desert. But that was the appointed place where the woman was protected by God. She was fed for 1,260 days. However, the comparison of this woman, you also see in the book of Micah. Chapter 4, verse 8 says, As for you, watch the tower of the flock stronghold of daughter Zion. Woman is compared to Jerusalem, Israel. She is described as daughter of Zion. The former dominion will be restored to you. Kingship will come to daughter Jerusalem. So mentioning of this daughter of Zion, daughter Jerusalem, has the reference to this woman. In the 10th verse of Micah chapter 4, writhe in agony, daughter of Jerusalem, daughter of Zion. Writhe in agony like a woman in labor, for now you must leave the city, camp in the open field. This has reference to the wilderness where the woman flies. It is the appointed place where she is protected for 1260 days by God Himself. In the 13th verse it reads, Rise and thresh, daughter Zion, for I will give you horns of iron, hoofs of bronze. You will break into pieces many nations. This shows the victory of God, the victory of Jesus Christ. This woman is given to rise and thresh. She was given horns of iron, hoofs of bronze, with which she would break into pieces many nations whose names are not written in the book of life, in the book of the Lamb, who are not saved, who do not believe Jesus Christ as the Son of God. Here we see, John sees the imminent apostasy of the church. In one view, this woman has a reference in the Old Testament, the book of Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Micah, and many more Old Testament references. However, the modern theologians averse this Marian veneration. They do not compare this woman to Mother Mary, and they compare this woman to the real church itself. John sees the imminent apostasy of the church. He sees war in heaven and war against the believers, war against the church. And he also sees the continuation of war upon the earth. Reformed theologies and modern theologies, they compare this woman to the church of Christ, the believers of Christ. How it is imminent that it should face judgment, face lot of persecution. Churches are being persecuted. Christian belief is being challenged. It's not acceptable to people. So this is the woman and the beginning of the war between the evil on the earth and the divine rule of the heaven. Interestingly, you can see, people see that a beautiful alignment, as per the internet sources, we see a beautiful alignment of the celestial bodies in the year 2017, September 23rd, 2017. They visualize the astronomical orientation of all the planets. It's interesting. A momentous thing occurred on September 23rd of the year 2017. The heavens themselves were participating in a tableau of the book of Revelation 12. What is that? Sun in the middle of the constellation Virgo. Moon at the feet of the Virgo. This is compared to the woman dressed in sun, the woman dressed in the sun, that means the sun in the middle of the constellation Virgo, and moon at the feet of the constellation Virgo. 9 stars of the zodiac constellation Leo. These are 12 stars here. You can see the 12 stars. Of these 12 stars, 9 stars are of the zodiac constellation Leo, and the other 3 are Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Within a week after September 23rd, the astronomical observations revealed that planet Jupiter exits from the Virgo. The planet Jupiter exits from Virgo, representing the birth of the child. This is the astronomical reference comparison where it's a momentous thing happened in the sky. Can we call it as heaven, where the celestial bodies came into a pattern of arrangement, and they occur like as if they are representing themselves, a tableau of chapter 12 of the book of Revelation. Still there is something like the astronomical attribution of the woman in the writings of the people of Babylonian, Persian, Greek, and Egyptian mythology. They also represented all these astronomical attributes of the woman. In another view, the 12 stars represent the 12 planets of the zodiac, 12 zodiacs, arrangements of stars and planets. In another word, one interesting scientific explanation also is there, where God himself represents the woman. God who takes care of his children. Like a mother takes care of its mother hen, takes care of its chicks under its wings, there is a comparison. Just like a mother hen protects its chicks under its wings, same way God takes care of his followers, those who believe in him, those who have faith in him. So scientific representation, I tell you the reference. Mary Baker Eddy, she wrote a book, Science and Health with the Key to the Scriptures. That's the book she wrote. Mary Baker Eddy wrote a book where she gave an insight into Christian science. Science and Health with the Key to the Scriptures. That's the book she wrote. In that book, she represents the woman of the Apocalypse is a coincidence of God and man. It's the coincidence of God and man that is the woman. Coming together, drawing together of God and man, that is that woman of the Apocalypse of chapter 12. God and man, when they are brought together, God represents the divine principle and the divine man represents the divine idea. Idea of God's motherhood is represented here. If you go deeper into the study of that book, it will be very interesting. A beautiful coincidence of man and God. Connection between man and God, where God himself represents the motherhood of God. As I told you, just as the mother hen protects its chicks under the wings, same way God protects his followers, his believers. I hope the study of chapter 12 is really a spiritual tableau, the real spiritual heavenly tableau of chapter 12, what all happened between the stars, the constellations. However, The church is being challenged. The church is being accused. And in the next chapter, we will study the rise of the accuser, the beast, the Antichrist. Hope you feel it's interesting, and please follow as your conscience guides you, as your wisdom gives you the understanding of what you hear or what you read in the book of Revelation. Thank you. See you soon. Bye bye.